This is the show where Ohio throws down. Ohio is on fire. Guess what, folks? I'm back after a 2-week vacation. I was have Veterans Week last week, and then I had to take a personal vacation 2 weeks before that. But I'm here. I haven't died yet, and we are live here on WWSU 106.9 FM. Dane's Right Choice. But yeah, it is great to be back, and I got a nice show for you tonight. For one, I got an exclusive interview coming up later on in the show with hip-hop artist Tino. He is from the Dane, Ohio area, and he's got a big concert this Saturday. It's the Hip Hop for Hunger concert over at Peach's Grill in Yellow Springs. So we'll be talking to him tonight. Of course, I got OMVP, and I'll be sharing things that's on my mind. And of course, at the end of the show, I got actually some special announcements to make, because we only got a few shows left of Ohio's on Fire before the winter vacation. Let's just say I got a nice little surprise for everyone. But that's going to be at the end of the show. I'm going to make you wait for it. But anyway, welcome to the show. I am Daniel Diesel. And since I've been on, I had a little event that happened. It was a dream of mine to put on my concert. But I'm talking about DimCon 2014. It happened on Saturday, November 1st. And it's been a long awaited for me to talk about this, because I had to go on my 2-week vacation. And of course, I talked about EpicCon, honestly, when I was there back in October. So now, since I was actually there for the whole kit and caboodle, my first ever concert, I'm going to give you my review of DimCon, Dane Indie Music Madness, the concert. Of course, it was at the Old Yellow Cab building. And it was, now I know November gets cold sometimes. Well, a lot of times it does. And it was a chilly day. Like the afternoon, it was chilly. But the good news is that it didn't snow, it didn't rain. So I took it as a positive. When I woke up that morning, I was charged. I just couldn't believe that day that it came. You know, people on my Facebook were talking about being there, having a good time. And I guess I had a taxi take me over there because I live far away. And I was talking to a nice little lady. She was probably in her mid-40s. And I was telling her about, I got this concert tonight. I'm doing it for, it's a big, long festival. And she wished me luck. She said it sounded fun, but she had to work. She's a taxi driver. So she has to pick up various people in the area. So that's what happened with that. But she wished me luck, and I was excited. You know, my crew was there. It was Tara and Mark. They work at the building. Of course, they're part of the ownership group that owns that building. Tech Simple, that's the name of the group. And we put together tables, just did some writing, arranged everything. I was excited. And it's something I can mark off my bucket list at the very least, because I've always wanted to do my own concert. I've seen them on TV over the years, and I finally did it. And I worked very hard. Like I did the very best I could. I promoted the thing until I was blue in the face. And let's get to the pros and cons. I had a lot of fantasies for this. Not a lot of my fantasies came true, but some of them did. So I guess good news, no wait, bad news, good news. So I'll do the bad news. My ticket sales were not as strong as I thought they would be. I made it so people could come up and it was check or cash. I realize now perhaps I should have arranged a pre-sale, because I got it out to a lot of people. If people buy tickets in advance, I mean, even if they wind up not showing up or not, I already have their ticket money. I realize I should have done that, because I made all my ticket sales for that day of, and I'm waving at some friends of mine, so you can see it on radio. But anyway, I worked hard. I mean, it could have been worse. I could have sold 0 tickets. It could have been blank. Let's just say throughout the day I had an intimate audience, and it was hopeful. I mean, they had high hopes, and you know, I had high hopes too. My vision, I guess, for my fantasies, I wanted that big audience, because I had really good acts. All these acts I had on my show have really strong followings on the internet, and they're really talented people, and it was a nice mixture, like the best of the worlds, if you will. And so I believe I had a good strategy, and I think a lot of factors. I talked to some people, like when I was backstage and even afterwards. Dayton, Ohio, there's a lot that goes on in Dayton, Ohio. I mean, it's there's stuff going on at Blind Bob's, there's stuff at the Victoria Theater, and there's a parade, like they have events at Montgomery County Fairgrounds. I wasn't the only game in town. There's a lot of people that are divided on what they want to do on that evening. So I have stiff competition. And, I'm just an independent radio guy. I can do so much. My original tournament, which this concert was based off of, was so successful. Like, it was good for independent radio, and I believe it will be when it happens again in the future. And that was my opportunity to strike. And if I hadn't done this concert, even with the pros and cons of things that didn't go the way I wanted to, it was my dream. I would have been itching my head saying, what have I done this concert? I would have been wondering forever. So I had to do it. I had to get that monkey off my back. So but that crowd wasn't as hot and as plentiful as I thought it would be. I lost a little bit of money personally. But I'm not broke. I'm not a homeless bum on the street yet. I'm okay. I'll recover. Because I got ways of making money and living life like the rest of y'all. So I'm okay. So that was losing money wasn't good though. You got to make money, and I guess it's really three things that went against this was just stiff competition. I think I realize now November is not a good day to be when your first time concert. It's not a good day to run an event like that. Perhaps maybe there was a better day I could have done something that was warmer. I realized that if I'm going to do this again, it has to be warmer weather. I have to assure myself warmer weather and a better situation in some areas. So, but now the good news. I'll get to some good news. I had Dayton Urban Barbecue. They served for about 6 hours during the event. So people that came, they got to buy some food. Really good stuff. They did a good job. The guy that owns it, he brought his truck, and it was fun. So people got to eat and drink some pop. And it had a good old time. Now, a little story here. Now, the venue, Old Yellow Cab Building, they don't have their license to serve beer yet. Means they sell beer. I don't know when they'll get that special license to do that. I know, like the last 3 hours of the event, people were bummed out they couldn't do that. So Mark Jeffers, let's just say he did some fast thinking. I think he left to go to a local store. I don't know where he went. And he bought some beers. And it was people that was there, I would say roughly maybe 20 people that was in the audience. He bought beer and he gave them, for people that are over 18, he checked their IDs definitely. Because, you got to be 21 and over. And he gave out free beer to the guests. And of course, I don't drink beer. He offered me one too, but I don't drink beer. I don't smoke. So I'm a clean guy. But it was nice that he offered. And we had a blast. Of course, some of the artists sold some CDs, some merch. Probably not as much as they thought they would, being that it wasn't a super heavy crowd as I was hoping. And I had, I guess I presented that picture to them that there was going to be a big crowd of 200 to 400 people at a time, because the venue can hold that. It can hold quite a bit of people. And we didn't sell out, definitely, so let's put it that way. It was intimate. It was intimate. And so anyway, yeah, so I had some disappointments in ticket sales and the weather and just, I guess, a lot of stiff competition. I realized perhaps there was a better situation I could have put myself in. But now I got the negatives out of the way. The positives, it was a great concert. For people that were there, they loved it. These artists are as good as I thought they were. They were all good. I'll tell you who performed. We kicked off with Robert Watson. He's the guitar master. You've probably seen his work on Reverb Nation. And he performed. He kicked things off. And then he was a last-minute replacement that I added to the bill on that Wednesday before. He is billed as Achilles Tenderloin. Of course, his real name's Joe Augustus, and he usually sometimes has a guy with him, and they are billed as Achilles Tenderloin. But the other guy couldn't make it. But he performed about 50 minutes. He's up from Indiana, and he was awesome. So big shout out to him for stepping in the last minute to do that. And then after that, we had Raya. She did her acoustic piano set, and beautiful voice. Actually, there was, of all the acts I had, Mark Jeffers, he talked to me. There was two that he really liked. He liked the Story Changes because they were the headlining act, and everyone loves them. But he was really impressed with Raya. He was like, I hadn't heard her before, but I'm glad I discovered her today. if I put on a concert in the future, I'd see if I can get her. She's great, and I agreed. So he was really impressed with Rhea. He told me several times that Rhea was the star of the future. The champion of the first ever DIM tournament, Melvin Robertson, aka Faith Baby, he did his thing. He performed, and of course, if you were there, he had quite a his language was quite salty in his music. Of course, it was stuff I couldn't air on this station. But so it was a hardcore act on his part. He went for it, and he showed a lot of passion. And he took a cool picture, which I obviously can't show you on the radio. It was a black and white scale, vintage-looking photo of him on stage at my concert, and it's awesome. And and there was a lot of pictures that came from my event. It just looked amazing. I mean, the product was awesome. So I am happy that I was able to organize a product like that. And then after Melvin, we had I believe Curse Cassandra. They performed their act, and then I'm waving hi to my buddy. And anyway, so Curse Cassandra, and they have that light show. They bring their own lights. It's techno. They do techno music. It was freaky and wild. And then after them, the last act was Story Changes, and they sold a bunch of shirts, and they talked to their fans. They took some photos. And they got to drink free beer, thanks to Mark Jeffers. Oh yeah, a big shout out to Richard Brown. He has a video channel on YouTube called The Boxcar. And when he goes to concerts pretty much every weekend, or festivals that have unique stuff going on, he films them on his camera and he uploads them. Now I think he's retired from what he used to do, because that's pretty much, he's an older man if you ever met him. And that's pretty much what he does now with his free time. So I imagine he's retired, unless he does work. And I just got a peace. I feel the love tonight, people. I got 3 hot ladies just gave me a peace sign just now. So thank you very much. Anyway, but shout out to Richard Brown. He's amazing. He's now a good friend of mine. I've seen him at several events now. He filmed every act of my concert, and which was good because I was able to film some highlights, but I couldn't film all of it because I had to do tickets, I had to talk to the talent, I had to pick up the mess when anyone threw away trash or it was on the floor. I had to make sure it was nice and tidy. I was wearing a lot of hats for this event, and boy was I cold, because a lot of times I'd go outside waiting for people to come. Of course, we had droughts at times of ticket sales, but I was a warrior. I was determined, and I froze out there. I froze for the people of Dayton and for DimCon. The final verdict. I can't get. It was my concert, so I can't give it a grade. I do feel being at EpicCon. I mean, it could have been way worse. Quite frankly, the product was not bad. For people that didn't have to worry about the issues I had to go through, the politics and the money, the business ordeal, they had a good time. The people were happy, and so that's a big positive right there. And and the other thing is that I didn't screw any of the artists over, because that was another big issue of EpicCon. They were promised big payments, and a lot of them wound up losing money because they were lied to about getting airplane tickets. And that did not happen at DimCon. Every artist got paid. They got paid their upfront as promised, and a lot of them was able to sell some items, so they made a little bit extra money from that. I don't know how much. It's private. They don't announce how much they make from the merchandise sales, but it was an experience for all the artists and the fans that came, and it was positive. It was mostly positive. So if the people that review this give it a D, I'll be happy. I don't think it was a failure. From an artistic standpoint, it wasn't a failure. Business-wise, it was, because I did lose a lot of money, which I'll recover from over time. I'll be okay. I did plan to. I did think of the possibility of losing some money. I've been saving up for pretty much since April, when I thought maybe I could do this. Since April, I've been saving for this. So I kept my word. So a lot of the artists will work with me again if I can bring them a bigger and better presentation. Maybe I need to have a group with me next time. I did everything myself, and I just need some peeps. I need some people to help me. So that'd be one big thing. I'm not saying I'm not going to do one again, because I did have disappointments. But let's wait and see. I need to play it by ear, because I'm not. I mean, I do want to do one again, but it's got to be the right way. I need to be able to put myself in a position to be financially successful. It's now time for everyone's favorite segment. Yes, indeed. It's now time for OMVP. And that stands for Ohio's Most Valuable Pedestrian. Do 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 do. Alright, OMVP is a weekly award. It's not really an award, but a shout out to someone or a group of people from the state of Ohio that did something very interesting or was involved in a weird story and they have positive results. It ended up positive for that person or that group of people. So let me read this article. And it's football related, which is rare on this show, but it relates to the Cincinnati Bengals and a game they had. Perhaps you already know if you've been watching the news last few days, but this is from WAFB.com. That's where I'm getting the story from. Out of New Orleans, a Bengals fan who had a ball taken from her in the third quarter of Sunday's Saints vs. Bengals game in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome was given a replacement by a Saints official. After Jermaine Grissom of the Bengals scored on 1-yard touchdown reception, Grissom walked over to the stands and tossed the ball towards Bengals fan Krista Barrett. That's Krista Barrett. All right. A Saints fan sitting in the front row stepped in front of the toss and snatched the ball away from Barrett. Barrett begged and pleaded for the man to hand the ball over, but the man would not do so. The incident, which was shown during the television broadcast of the game, quickly became a trending topic on social media sites. As the game wound down in the fourth quarter, a representative of the Saints found where Barrett was sitting in the stands and presented a football to her, which she gladly accepted. I was more begging because we wanted a picture of the ball, honestly, she said. This is what Barrett said. That was kind of the begging picture was, hey, can we at least get a picture of that ball? But the gentleman was very protective of her, which is understandable. Apparently he's been sitting in those seats for a very long time. And this is his first opportunity to get a ball, and I'm actually very happy for him that he was able to get it. So that guy, which he was an older African-American man, I guess he'd been a season holder tickets in that seat for maybe close to a decade. He's a loyal New Orleans Saints fan, and he's never gone to football. And I guess that was his opportunity to get one when it came right near him. The two of them were really close to the ball, and he kind of like a jump ball. When you throw it and two people are in the same area, they tackle and go for it, and he jumped in her way and grabbed it. It was supposed to be for her, but he took it. And anyway, to finish this article off, they asked her, "So you're not angry with him?" Fox 8 asked. And, "Oh no, gosh, not at all," said Barrett. So she's not upset. So that was which I can see she's looking at the like some people, it's that terminology, the glass half empty or glass half full. I think she's looking at half full with that statement. She's being nice, and I'm looking at a picture of her right now. I saw this game. This is a nice little lady. I don't know if she's married or not. She looks to be in her mid-20s probably. She don't look too old. Yeah, she's looking nice. So once again, that lady, you probably watched the game on Sunday. It was on WHIO, but it was Krista Barrett. That was the lady who got the ball taken away from her. That poor lady. So good for her. I tell you, she should be a model or something. She's hot, I tell you. You gotta look at this video. She is, she's something else. All right, so good for her and good for me.
Twitter.com/WWSU1069, WWSU106.9, Fairborn, Dayton.
And we are back with Ohio is on Fire. I am Daniel Diesel, and I got my guest for tonight, my live exclusive interview. He's right in front of me. We got the amazing Tino. He's a hip-hop artist from Dayton, Ohio. Say hello, Tino.
Hello, Radio World.
All right, man. Welcome. Now, I got to know, what age were you when you began rapping?
Seriously 24, but I guess I'd be like 17 when I wrote like some silly rhymes.
Okay. All right, I know a lot of I know Snoop Dogg. He claims he began rapping when he was like 5 years old. So it seems like something that you start when you're really young. That's what I had to ask.
Well, technically,
whenever you're a
you
baby.
do start rapping when you're like really young, but I don't know how legitimate you can claim. Because I performed as LL Cool J in a talent show when I was 3 years old.
Oh,
with my
okay.
uncle. But I don't technically count that just because I was 3 years old. I barely remember it. It's like photos and stuff like that.
Okay. Anyway, well, I'll repeat. Yes, Tino, he said that he's been rapping since he was 24. Your mic was low, so sorry about that for folks at home, but your mic is good now.
Okay.
Yeah, he rapped when he was 24, and he was in a talent show when he was 3, so we'll say you were 3. I mean, that kind of counts if you were performing.
Well, I thought I was super dope with my bicycle pants and my flipped-up bill hat.
All right. So, anywho, man, now, what was your inspiration to become a rapper? Like, when we got serious about writing, what was your inspiration?
When I got serious about writing, it was about, I don't know, like, there was so much negativity in the genre, so I wanted to do something different, do something positive, and that kind of is what spurred me to pursue hip-hop more seriously.
Okay. Now, now, I understand that one of the big things you're doing this weekend at Peach's Grill is a thing called the Hip Hop for Hunger event. You are hosting it and you'll be performing also. How did that creation of the event come about?
It was kind of an idea I had. It was something I wanted to do during my first year rapping, but it was something that was a little too lofty for me to be able to do. At that time, I didn't have connections with venues or the ability to really set up anything on my own. So a friend of mine, Obilo, we got together last year and we wanted to do something positive. So instead of just always talking about doing something positive, we wanted to actually do something that gave back to the community. So we got together and we scheduled the event with the Spirit of Go Cafe, which is in Yellow Springs as well.
Yeah.
But it's a coffee shop, and last year we packed it out, so we wanted to move it up to another larger venue this year, and that's where we went with Peaches, because they have at least 300 capacity, because I've done a show with 299 people there before, so like they have capacity for a lot of more individuals than we could at Spirit of Goat. Okay,
well, I was curious. Now it's a drive for I guess to serve to raise food for people that are hungry in the area. In your personal opinion, what are the current conditions in neighborhoods such as Yellow Springs and Dade, like the poor neighborhoods? What are your thoughts?
I live in Springfield currently, and there's bad parts of Springfield and there's good parts of Springfield, and I grew up in Cleveland, so I grew up in a more impoverished neighborhood, and it's currently it's not a good situation like for individuals. I don't think we value education enough in those neighborhoods. I think it's kind of like something that's perpetuated, that you're not supposed to do better for yourselves in those kind of areas, and when you do well academically, or you do well in some other way, it's almost like when you make it out of those situations, people look at you or look down on you in a certain way. But I believe there's things that are special about growing up in those neighborhoods as well. Like you learn a certain kind of toughness that that you don't let life strip you away, because you don't have anything. You don't start off with anything. So when the adversity comes about, you're able to handle situations much better than a person who had been given everything, or had come from like a silver spoon or anything like that. Okay, well that's a good point of view right there. Now, how much money in food do you guys plan on raising this year? What are your goals? I would like to see us do at least double what we did last year. Because last year we had about $200 worth of groceries. Because we don't take any cash donations. All we ask at the event is that if you come, it's a free event, but we ask that you bring a non-perishable food item to donate, so that we can take it to the local food pantry. And last year we had over a bin. We had one of those large Tupperware bins, and we had filled that up, and then we had also grocery bags of items that were also collected. So I think we did over $200 worth of canned goods and stuff like that, and I'd like to see us do at least double that. Oh, awesome! I hope you guys reach that goal. That sounds awesome. Now, well, what type of food was it? Was it like cans, like we say? There was all kinds of stuff. Like people brought crackers. There was canned goods. There was coffee. There was just all sorts of oddities. most of it was canned goods,
Okay.
because I know because I had to carry that Tupperware out there, and that thing was substantially heavy. But like there was mostly canned goods, but there was a myriad of things that were donated that had long shelf lives.
All right. Now let me ask you: in your lifetime, what was your favorite music moment? Whether you were participating or you were just an audience member.
My favorite music moment, the one that when I think about that question, is like the first thing that comes to me is like Michael Jackson used to like stop the world when he would debut a video, and the one that I can remember from youngest, because I'm like Michael's my like hugest, he's like my biggest musical influence like growing up was Remember the Time video. I remember when that came out and like everything stopped, all of the regular programs stopped, and it's like now for the world premiere of Michael Jackson's Remember the Time. And I was like, man, he has to have all the kind of power in the world because he just stopped the news, he just stopped everything, and they just debuted his music video.
Absolutely, I remember that too. And actually, did you see the black and white video when it premiered?
No,
Do you remember that?
I remember seeing it, but I remember when it came out. I don't think I was there when it like debuted, like for the world stopping moment.
Well, just yes. I was probably 6 years old when this happened. But that was a big deal to black and white also. But the controversy was after the regular music video, which is like 6 minutes long. There was an additional, I think, 6 or 7 minutes where he was like on the streets, and there was a lot of profane language. It wasn't the F word or anything, but I think the N word was on there, and he also grabbed himself a few times. And of course, kids at home are watching, so I think some parents complain about that. But oh well, it was still awesome.
I mean, if you was watching Michael, you was bound to see him grab him.
He was about to do it eventually. That's Michael. All right. Well, let me ask you one more question before we play some of your great music. But let me, if you had a time machine, if you do anything, you use that time machine to go do anything you want, whether in the past or in the future, what would you do?
Oh man, you hit me up with like I could go super heavy on that. Or
All right.
If I could go do anything, if I had a time machine, I would go back. See, the album is dedicated to my cousin Stephen Halton Jr.
Okay.
Who lost his life on his way to work at Cleveland Clinic. He was a open heart surgery technician, and they had called him in. He was on call, and he was waiting for his bus to transfer, and he got shot and robbed.
Oh,
so
man.
if I could go back and do anything, I would go back and at least I would prevent that, but I'm like afraid of like the butterfly effect thing. I would try and prevent that occurrence from happening.
Yeah.
Or I would at least get the chance. I would like to tell him I love them at least one last time, because we kind of had a bad situation. I grew up with him, like from growing up in the church with my cousin for a long time, and then we like kind of families kind of had a like falling out.
Okay.
So I never really we didn't really end on good terms. But he found out that I had been rapping. And he told his sister, like she told me recently that he knew I rapped, and he's like, and he's good. So like.
And what year? When did he get killed?
It was January 10th of this year.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
That was very recent. Okay, well, yeah, my condolences. I hate to hear that, man. And we are live on Ohio's on Fire. I am Daniel Diesel. We're back. And I'm here once again with Tino. And we got some questions for him. There's a lot of viewers at home. They're big fans of Tino. And they got some questions for you. And I think they're pretty good questions, so we'll get to those. So now, the first question, Cody Drake. Thank you. He's got this question. Hey, Tino, what is your favorite artist in the rap game or any music genre?
Oh, man. Currently, I don't know. The only thing I've been listening to on a consistent basis currently is this Mick Jenkins tape. Right now, he's like my favorite dude doing it. Right. Any other time, I'd probably tell you Kanye West, but I wasn't really feeling Yeezus all that much. But
yeah,
of all time, Kanye West, like my favorite rapper. But currently, right now, Mick Jenkins is the best dude doing it.
All right. Now on this next question, we got Megan Kale. She's got this question for you. What do you love most about Cleveland, Ohio, and what do you love most about Dayton, Ohio? What's the difference?
What I love most about Cleveland, Ohio, that I can't name one thing. Like it's just every time I go home, there's a bridge leading where 71 connects to 90, and that's the bridge going over into Cleveland, downtown Cleveland, and I see Jacobs Field. It's the Progressive now, but I call it the Jake. It's always going to be the Jake to me.
All right.
And Quickest Loans Arena, and the whole city's lit up. Like, that's my favorite experience when I return home, is to see it's like the city's greeting me whenever I come back.
Okay. And now Dayton, Ohio. What do you love most about Dayton?
Dayton, man, the people in Dayton, like, they're like more accepting than any area I've ever been in. Like, there's people from like all walks that'll come out to a show that I'm doing, and like, it's always been like crazy the amount of support and love Dayton has shown me, especially with this music.
Okay. Now we also got a caller from a guy named Frank. He says he's a big fan of yours, and he says to keep doing your thing. He loves what you're doing for the community.
Frank, I appreciate that greatly.
That was from Frank. All right. Now I got a few more questions for you. Let's see here. Now I had a similar question what the one person had. Who do you like on a national level? Besides, you mentioned the hip hop artists. Is there anyone that you like nationally or internationally?
On the non-hip hop side,
yes.
Like, I've nationally, right now I feel like nobody. Like, that's I have this conversation all the time. I feel like nobody really rocks anymore, like on a national level. But currently, some favorites of mine, on a local level, Night Beast, Jasper the Colossal,
okay,
Grand Mammoth. There's so many bands. Fan of there's one more. It's like right on the tip of my tongue, but and also locally with hip hop, Obilo, Village Fam, fan of C Rose.
Okay.
There's a ton of guys out there that are really doing it for hip hop in the area. Mizzle and Zai. A lot of guys I play shows with and stuff like that. On the national level, Mick Jenkins I guess he'd be national, but he's really out of Chicago. He's more of a mid to low level hip hop artist, and like I said, Kanye West, a huge fan. Michael Jackson, huge fan. Lauryn Hill is like one of my favorite artists all time.
All right, absolutely. Now your new album, because when I played two of your tracks from the album, Forget Me Not, what would be a good place for people to buy that album?
It's on sale at local retailers at Omega Music,
okay,
downtown in the Oregon District on 5th Street. It's also available at the Toxic Beauty, which is in Yellow Springs, as well as in physical, and it's also available at Kettering Game Swap, and also you can get it on Bandcamp.com or / Hip Hop Tino, and you also can get it at my website hiphoptino.com in physical or digital form.
Okay. Now we talked earlier about the cause for Hip Hop for Hunger. We got a great bill of that. Now, what can we expect on the musical side, like for this Saturday? What can we expect musically at Hip Hop for Hunger?
We got a lot of talented people on the bill. We got PDMC, who is like one of the most masterful freestylers you'll ever meet.
Okay.
Like, he can put anything together, but he'll also be doing his own original songs. He's a very talented MC, vet at doing it. We have Matthew Medicus, who's coming all the way from Cleveland, who's going to do his thing. He is more of it's more of a lyrical style that he uses. We'll have Bear and Rubik's and their homie, who they go by Juxtapose now, and theirs is more of a rapid fire trade off back and forth, kind of Beastie Boys kind of style, because they have a rock vibe as well going to it. And we also have Issa, who's an intellectual, spiritual style MC, who speaks on third eye glands and different third eye pineal glands and all that good stuff, getting esoteric on you and stuff like that. And then you have myself, I'm just like, I guess I'd be like a blue collar MC, really, like just speaking about everyday life and giving you the truth. So it'll be even though it's all hip hop, it'll be a diverse mixing of styles.
Okay. Now, what time does it begin? How long will it last? Because there's a lot of acts there.
Well, everybody has about 25, 30 minutes. It starts at 10 o'clock, and we'll probably be done with live music by 2 o'clock.
All right.
And Peaches doesn't close till 2:30. And like I said, again, it's free. All we ask is that you bring a non-perishable item to donate and come out and have a good time. It's always lovely out in Yellow Springs. I don't know if you've ever been to Yellow Springs.
Oh, I've been there.
But it's always a excellent time, and I've been out to any event in the area.
All right. So once again, so it sounds like it's going to be a good old time this Saturday from 10 a.m. From 10 p.m. to 2 in the morning, one of those all-night party things, but it's for a good cause. So, and of course, Tino, you can buy his new album, and also he has a few other past albums. You can buy it at hiphoptino.com. And I like your music. I enjoyed the 2 tracks I heard. I wish you luck. I hope you make it as big as you want to make it and keep making good music.
I appreciate
it. I like it.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, and thank you, Tino. I appreciate it. This has been great. So that was the amazing Tino. Yes, he'll be there this Saturday night. And I might stop by because I always look for areas. So if I stop by, I'll remember to bring a food item. Well,
okay. We're not turning anybody away at the door who doesn't bring it.
I know,
but we just ask that you help out with the cost.
Well, if I want making it over, I'll make sure to do that. So it sounds great. So with that, that's Tino. Now we're going to go back to some music. I got my top 120 countdown. We're doing that tonight. I do it every few weeks. I did 73 to 61 tonight, so I'll recap the countdown so far. 72 was Black Veil Brides, and in the end, and 71 was the Starfires. I Never Loved Her. And then number 70, Affiance, Kings of Deceit. Number 69, The Sun with Must Be You. 68 was Cobra Verde with Temptation. And then number 67 was Human Switchboard with I Used to Believe in You. So I got 6 more I'm going to play for you tonight. Hope you like it. Well, you're listening to Ohio's on Fire. And at number 66 was Bobby Bear with Marie Levine. And at number 65, it was Bow Wow featuring Omarion, Let Me Hold You. And at number 64 just now, it was Over the Rhine with All I Need Is Everything. And out to front cell, what's going to come up at the end of the show, because it's my last speaking segment. At number 63, I'm going to play 21 Pilots, House of Gold. Number 62, the Isley Brothers, That Lady. And then number 61, High Tech, featuring Talib Kweli with The Blast. And so that's coming up at the end of the show, plus the National Independent Showcase. That'll be after that also. And yes, at 11 o'clock, I want you to listen to Joe live in the studio. It's Joe with Album of the Week. He will play classic albums, and he'll take your phone calls if you have requests. Once again, that number is 937-775-5555. And Joe, he's been doing a good job all semester. He's just amazing. He's got a lot of experience with broadcasting, and I won't reveal. I don't know his age. He is the oldest member of our staff this semester, so I'm gonna say he's a solid. I guess to boost his ego, he's in his late 30s. He'd want me to tell you that. So he's in his late 30s, but he's great. So listen to him at 11 o'clock. Now with that, I think it's time for my final message, and it's actually some big surprise announcements that I have, because we are getting close to winter vacation. Yes, but this is my final message, is to talk to you about what's coming up for Ohio is on Fire. Now, last but definitely not least, my last show until winter vacation is going to be Tuesday, December 9th. And I got a lot of cool things on that show, which I like to think my show is always cool, but this show will be the holiday special. It'll be close to Christmas. And I got a few guests that I think you'll really be interested in. It's going to really be interesting. And the first, well, it won't be in particular order, because I don't know what order I'll put them in. But I will have from Rockstar Pro, Dave and Jake Kreist. They every Wednesday night, the Rockstar Pro group, they have a show down at Rockstar Pro Wrestling Arena. They do a show every Wednesday night. And also they have pay-per-views that's on the internet every month, once a month. And they will be here on the show. They'll be here live, and it's going to be great. And I got another guest. And this guest, she's been, let's just say she's really popular right now. she did something very courageous several months ago. I've actually talked about it before. But if you're not familiar with the story, Jetta Fosberg, she made a big stand to cut her hair off and support the Wigs for Kids, and she was made fun of real badly by her fellow students in school, and of course her family was really upset over that. And it got big media attention. She's been on Queen Latifah. She's doing magazines. She's a child star right now. She's on a roll right now. She's from Dayton, Ohio. She's doing all that stuff. And on December 9th, she's coming to one more place. She's coming to WWSU 106.9 FM. She's coming to Ohio is on Fire. She's coming to the show where Ohio throws down. Yes, the amazing Jetta Frostberg, along with her mother Heidi, they will be here live on the show. And I'm very excited. They have chosen to be on my show. I contacted them and they agreed, and it's going to be great. I got some surprises for Jetta. I'm going to talk to her about the aftermath of, I'm going to ask her about the school culture since she's became, we would call it 15 minutes of fame, if you will. Of course, she could become famous even longer. She's really talented. She does soccer. She volunteers for choir. She is an amazing 10-year-old girl. So this may not be the last we hear of her, but listen, mark your calendar. She will be here live on this station. I'll be talking to her and Heidi, the one and only Jetta Fosberg. That is going to be Tuesday, December 9th. The show begins at 8 p.m. And I believe she'll probably be my first guest. I think I'll do that first. And then my second interview will be with the Rockstar Pro guys. That's going to be a big show. Oh, one more thing about that show. I'll be giving away a prize that night. Because I'll be playing a little game called What Does Dan Diesel Want for Christmas? And you at home will win a prize. And I want you to win it. I will announce that prize next week because I want to make sure I pronounce it right and make sure I'm doing it's a good package. I want this prize package to be good. So I 100% decided on the prize I will give out, but it'll be a brand new item, never used. It'll be awesome. So I have a nice prize package for you. You will win that. You have a chance to win that on Tuesday, December 9th. I will talk about more next week. And so that's my big announcement. My holiday special with Jetta Fosberg, the big hero of Dayton, Ohio, and an incredible role model for all little children everywhere, I believe. She, that's what she did, standing up for herself, that's a beautiful thing. So that'll be Tuesday, December 9th, and then we got Rockstar Pro, and then I got Sean Burkett and John Morris on December 2nd, and then I'm talking to the Rainbow Alliance next week. So my shows are stacked, and then nice little vacation. So I'm here for you. And one of my goals, I want to grow Ohio's on Fire even more. Right now I got 185 likes, and I'm close to 200. And I'm trying to find ways to dress it up some more. I need to put some pictures on there. Hopefully this is I can get a good discussion. Like if I get a nice big guest, which I believe Jetta Fosberg and Sean Bergen and John Morris, those are some big guests. I might get some activity going on this Facebook page. So let's get that to 1,000 likes. Let's do 1,000 likes on Ohio's on Fire. But stay warm out there. It's really cold. It's the coldest November we've had since the 80s. And Black Friday is next Friday. So hopefully you're thinking about what you want to buy for Christmas. Hopefully you get a good deal. Please don't trample each other. We were talking today at our meeting that there's been several occasions that people have been trampled to death because they wanted that new Xbox. Happened 3 years ago over in, I believe, Albany, New York, at a Walmart over there. And then people have hyperventilated because they can't breathe too well, because they can't walk anywhere. Let's be smart on Black Friday. I don't want anyone dying buying that new Xbox. Dayton, Ohio, Wright State University, that's the way it is. Warning. This episode of Ohio is on Fire contains strong opinions and viewpoints that belong to the host and guests that appear on Ohio is on Fire. This show contains entertainment and honesty that reaches extreme levels. Please do not try this at home.
Tyrants did it. Hitler took the guns. Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. Fidel Castro took the guns. Hugo Chavez took the guns. And I'm here to tell you, 1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms.
My name is Elizabeth Holford, and I'm the Executive Director at Equality Ohio.
I have a First Amendment.
Equality Ohio
officers want me to leave this position just because you got cameras.
Equality, Ohio.
Can you believe it?
Witnesses say during a heated confrontation, a healthcare reform opponent had his pinky finger bitten off when he stuck it in a healthcare reform supporter's face. Police say the 65-year-old man picked up his finger and drove himself to Los Robles Hospital, where they're now trying to reattach it. Police tonight are searching for the biter who ran from the scene.
Enough! Silence! I can't take no more. Fire! 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 Fire!
Let's just talk. Listen, I'm sorry. You're highly professional at what you do. You get here and